Hello there and welcome to this demonstration of contactPro, in this case being used for contactPro MBX, the mobile PBX service. contactPro MBX is a service that allows you to intelligently route inbound calls through the mobile PBX service and onto mobile phones. What you see in front of you here is the contactPro MBX portal, which allows you to manage from a web interface all of the routing through to the mobiles. So you can see on this test account here we've got the queue itself. This is the entry point for the queue. This is the queue, the entry point that people ring. So the main phone number will be hit the queue here, and then the various extensions there will be registered with the queue, and then we set how the calls are routed through to each of the mobile phones. In this case here we're calling them agents. The service can also be used as a contact center. It's actually the same technology used. So we've got the queue here, then we've got the extensions that log into it. So first of all, let's have a look at the queue itself and how we configure that. Very straightforward. You'll notice all of the settings, it's all point and click with these icons here, making it easy to navigate your way through. So let's look at queue setup. So we've got the name of the queue and queue size. That tends to be how many calls that you want to simultaneously put through. So that's normally unlimited. The call distribution algorithm. So this is how, when somebody rings your business, they ring your main phone number. The queue will then try to find somebody that's free to take the call. So if there are, for example, say 10 of you, you may not want it to ring all at the same time. Ringing 10 mobiles all at the same time might be slightly pointless. It might suit some people, but anyway, this is where you would set the call distribution. So we've got ring all, least recently called, fewest calls random, round robin, or in a following order. So it's very configurable. There are lots of choices. Ring between agents, so the time that it's going to wait before retrying. We can record all inbound calls as well, which is a really useful feature. Ring for a certain amount of time, and while somebody's actually waiting in the queue, we can also play lots and lots of different types of message. We can tell them how long they're waiting in the queue. We can tell them their position in the queue, play them messages, that sort of thing. If a call has been waiting in a queue, we can transfer them through to another extension. We can only accept calls into the queue when people are logged in. So lots and lots of settings here. Set it up exactly to suit your business. And we've also got the caller ID number. So this is the number that typically this would be the main number of your business. Okay, so these are the queue settings. And we'll go back and look at how we log people onto this queue, ready to take calls. Okay, so we go and have a look at call agents. So these are all the people involved with the queue here, and you can see here that this shows everybody logged in. You can actually use this interface here to log people in and out, so let's try that. Okay, you can pause, log out from this queue, log out from all queues, or forget about it. There are different types of agent that can be logged into, or mobile phones that can be logged into the contactPro MBX service, and we'll see here on agent 4 there. This is where we'd put the settings to actually so that the calls route through to a certain mobile number. So we've got here agent 4, and here's the mobile phone number that it's going to route through to. And what that's going to do is when the queue is called, whatever it's set to in terms of the distribution algorithm, it'll work its way through, and when it gets to this number, it's going to ring this mobile phone number here. If the call isn't answered, it'll carry on routing through to find the next person. If you're on a ring all, obviously it's going to ring everybody together. But this is where you set it up. Okay, so these are how we add agents to a queue. And I'm using this term agents because it can be used in a contact center environment, but for mobile MBX, an agent really is just somebody that's got a mobile phone, and they're added to the queue. Okay, so let's go and have a look at some other things. So these are all the settings for the actual queue itself. So in terms of setting the queue for example, time of day routing, that sort of thing, we would go to inbound call rules, and we can see things like, for example, play busy, play congestion hang up, transfer, set call priority on certain caller IDs, or if anybody calls, we can do certain things with the caller. And time intervals are set in a different place there. You can set up to certain times, so morning, for example, afternoon, weekend, that sort of thing. Or for example, if you wanted to route calls through to another extension, or route it through to voicemail, or change the routing of the call for a certain time of day, you would transfer the call to, this is where you would put the number that you want to transfer it to. This could be an external number, it can be a mobile number, that sort of thing. Set that there and ring that for a certain amount of seconds. When caller ID is any, you can also set up authorization for that. And what this allows you to do is at certain times of day, for example on a Sunday, when calls come into your business, you can basically route them through to a mobile number or voicemail. That sort of thing can also be set up on the queue, if you remember, so that if a call comes into the queue, nobody's logged into it, it will basically send them to voicemail. Okay, so let's have a look at some other settings. We can also record calls as well, as we mentioned earlier. So we've got one recorded here. You can actually play it here from the web interface. Probably won't be able to hear that. And probably just about make that out. Let's pause that. Yeah, so you can play that and it'll play it through the speakers on your PC. You can also take a look at call reports. Okay, this can be exported to Excel and CSV. All inbound, outbound calls, all listed through there. And you can search, put them in order. You can add columns. Pretty comprehensive call reporting. We've also got queue reports as well, which are a bit more detailed. In this particular case, there's actually no data on this inbound queue here, so apologies, it's a bit boring, but I'm sure you can get the drift here. This is quite useful to look at analysing calls, how long they're answered, the average time to answer it, how long people are waiting in the queues, so you can start to tinker with the queue and really improve the service that people get when they ring in. Number of calls per agent, and it also say whether you're logged in or out. How long everything's answered. As I say, apologies, there's not actually any data on this. Unanswered calls, this is quite good. abandoned calls, that sort of thing can be picked up from here. So you can see who's logged in, average time per session, lots of quite useful information here. Time of day routing, we noticed, you probably noticed I mentioned that earlier, so we can add time intervals. So for example, you could define a weekend here, you could define out of hours, that sort of thing, so you can set up the inbound call routing. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This has been the web interface to the contactPro MBX service. Thanks very much for watching.